we've known him for years. Puff Daddy. So I blended all his names together. Puff Daddy. We've known him for years. He's the source of popular artists like Notorious B.I.G., Mary J. Blige. He pretty much had a hand in so many different people's careers. Craig Mack, Faith Evans, Bad Boy Entertainment, which has released so many different. That's been the forefront for so many other artists. I can even mention that certain other labels have kind of ventured off of Bad Boy, like Def Jam and stuff like that. It's just been in the 90s, he was huge, hit after hit. Mace, Black Rob before he passed, rest in peace. So many different people had affiliated with him. And he was at the time that him coming out in the 90s, he was just such a relief from the West Coast gangster image. You know, it was either, there wasn't really something on the East Coast, but it was like a refreshing kind of music kind of that brought people together. He was a very, he is, I don't know how to use it in light of things. He's been known as someone who has a extreme, just creative, just a very good producer. He's been in popular films and almost everybody in the industry up until about 2009 and maybe even later than that. Everybody in the industry, if you had a room with Puff Daddy, then you're somebody. Puff Daddy does not come cheap. He doesn't come easy. Pause. Anyways, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. He's finding himself in a little bit of trouble. Just a little bit. We've all known about the stuff, and it's, for me, I didn't think it was going to go as hard as it did. He's been on the news maybe about a year ago. One of the last artists he kind of made big was Cassie, who was just a one-hit wonder, to be honest with you. I don't remember her for any other songs except Me and You. I know that in New York and the East Coast, they were playing a little bit more Cassie music, but the West Coast, we wasn't really getting a lot of Cassie. And she came out with some very intense allegations about being abused. And then outside of that, we started hearing these stories start coming out from the industry people of the kind of personality Diddy brought to the table, the kind of person he was, how he partied. We've known of things like Diddy's white parties and stuff like that. I even have a family member who dated Diddy. So, I mean, which in lieu of this makes me want to make a phone call after this, but he's just been part of so many people's social awareness, and he's been part of pop culture for decades now, 3 decades. And so Cassie came out with these allegations. And I don't quite remember all those allegations. I remember there was allegations, and then there was there was an NDA that was signed, and then there was they settled on an amount of money to keep her quiet and whatever. Then a video came out, and I don't think the video was of Cassie, it was of another woman, that in the hallway of a hotel where Puff Daddy is literally beating up a woman, and he's wearing nothing but a towel, and he's literally punching and kicking this woman in a hallway. And this was, I think, maybe 8 years ago that this video was taken. And on the back end of that video, he had paid it off. He bribed the people to keep it hush, not let the video get out. Here we are 8 years later, it gets out. And now more information started coming away to the point of now he is facing, if any of this is accurate, and I'm not going to read this whole thing. You can find it online. If any of this is accurate and he goes to jail, which if this is true, he's going for a very long time. I'll just say that. The prison journey for Diddy is going to be extraordinarily painful for him. It's going to be extraordinarily painful for him. This is some very serious stuff. And I have a couple of thoughts about it, and I'll share them today. A couple of thoughts about this whole thing. One is, first of all, the first count is racketeering conspiracy. Now, For those of you guys who aren't familiar with the word racketeering basically means like mafia style business organization, like mob, not necessarily gangsters. This is like a mafia, like Capone type stuff. That's what racketeering charge is. And a racketeering charge, first of all, let's just point this out. Racketeering charge normally is not for one person. A racketeering charge, and then and later it talks about a RICO. A RICO means if you can charge one person with a count, if you can indict one person of a crime, you can indict everyone associated to that person with the same crime. So that's what a RICO is. So when you're talking about a racketeering and a RICO charge, that means that they're just not going after Puff. They're going after everybody associated with Puff. That's that's something to think about. So he's been indicted of racketeering. He's been indicted of running basically a prostitution ring, transporting, kidnapping, and transporting over state lines. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that stuff. There's been reports of, let me just see if I can read real quick. There's just so many things. It was so many. A lot. There's drug charges in here. There's kidnapping charges. There's transportation. There's sex work, like charges. And not only just New York, but they said they got him in California, all kinds of stuff that he, since 2009 till right about now, he's been running this organization that basically kidnaps women and men, forcing them to do sexual acts, forcing them through coercing people to do what he wants them to do through abuse, violence, bribery, and abuse physically, mentally, verbally, sexually. He's just been if we could break down the definition of the word villain, we have it right here in Puff Daddy. And it's I don't think we're done. I think more stuff is going to come out, because you can't do some of the things that I read in this document, and you can't do it by yourself. There is just absolutely no way you could do that by yourself.